Greetings, everyone. We are students from the University of the Cordilleras College of Accountancy. Today, we will discuss our research entitled The Extent of Online Self-Regulated Learning on Academic Performance of College of Accountancy Students in an Online Environment.
The outbreak of COVID-19 made higher education institutions to use different modality on delivering lessons, thus the online class. Therefore, self-regulated learning is essential. It gives students ability to fully grasp what online classes has to offer. The concept of self-regulated learning is investigated by 4 factors. Computer efficacy refers to individuals' beliefs about their ability to successfully use computers to solve tasks and manage situations. Self-efficacy is an important aspect of self-regulation according to Zimmerman. A research that was conducted on computer and internet self-efficacy shows its strong impact on learners' performance. Research also shows that learners with high computer self-efficacy perform better than learners with low efficacy. This research focused on students' awareness of their computer skills and abilities in finding efficiently the needed materials. In social dimension, knowledge is a socially constructed phenomenon rather than individual. In terms of online learning, online communities can facilitate learning experience and develop strategies in learners that improve self-regulated learning. This study focused on learning through communication and discussion of students from interaction with other users. Metacognitive strategies in terms of online context. Different research found that metacognitive awareness significantly facilitated effective self-regulation. This study refers to the strategies students employed during the learning process like awareness of different learning materials and self-reflection on what has been learned. Goal setting is the initial step to self-regulation. It determines specific objectives that will guide and motivate the learner. When students set their own goal, they take more responsibility that leads to being more empowered and motivated. In terms of online learning, goal setting is seen by some research as significantly related to the academic performance.
Let's move on to the rationale. The rationale contains the reasons and purposes on why we conducted the study. The first purpose is to study the extent of online self-regulated learning and academic performance of College of Accountancy students on online learning, and to come up with a conclusion that will answer the specific problems. We also wanted to find out and discuss how online self-regulation helps the students to perform better in their academics.
So next, we will discuss the significance of the study. Our study is highly significant and beneficial to the students wherein it will enlighten them about self-regulated learning and how much more it will help during the phase of adjustment with online learning. Lastly is the school administrators and teachers. The result will help them gain insights as to what measures are appropriate to help the teachers orient students with the new blended learning and provide the self-regulated learning support students need in order to have greater online academic success.
Statement of the problem. This study aims to analyze the extent of online self-regulated learning on the academic performance of the College of Accountancy students of University of the Cordilleras. This study specifically aims to answer the questions: 1. What is the extent of online self-regulated learning as to computer efficacy, social dimension, metacognitive strategies, and goal setting? 2. What is the academic performance of the respondents as to computer efficacy, social dimension, metacognitive strategies, and goal setting? 3. Is there a significant difference in the extent of online self-regulated learning between male and female? 4. Is there a significant difference in academic performance between male and female? 5. Is there a correlation of the extent of the academic performance as to age and year level? 6. Is there a correlations of the extent of online self-regulated learning as to age and year level? 7. Is there a correlation of the academic performance and the extent of online self-regulated learning together with the following dimension: computer efficacy, social dimension, metacognitive strategies, and goal setting.
And now, we will talk about the methodology. This chapter describes the participants, the research design, the research instruments, the sampling procedure, and the data collection technique that we used to gather our needed data for this study. As for the participants, our respondents were 85 students from the University of the Cordilleras from College of Accountancy Department. Among our respondents, 72 were females and 13 are males. The largest number of the participants is from the first year level, which is 95.29%, while 4.71% of our participants are in the second year level. Our participants age from 17 to 21 years old. And as for the research design that we used was a non-experimental quantitative research design. A particular non-experimental quantitative research design that we adopted was a survey. We asked our participants the same set of questions on the extent of online self-regulated learning, on their academic performance in an online environment. We adopted a deductive inquiry approach wherein we started with theoretical research questions and ending with empirical data for the analysis and interpretation. For the sampling procedure, the sampling method employed in our study was a non-probability sampling, otherwise known as non-random sampling, in which we purposely picked people who are available online, easy to find online, and locate online to be our participants. We have given them the link of our questionnaire and they become part of our sample. As for the research instruments, we adopted a researcher-completed and participant-completed type of questionnaire. Particularly, it was an online questionnaire, and we adopted a questionnaire from 𝐎𝐧𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐵 and PUSCA, which is the online self-regulated learning questionnaire. Our questionnaire has two parts. The first part is about the status of the participants, while the second part consisted of different factors wherein the participants responded to in the form of Likert scale of 4 levels, starting from strongly agree, disagree to strongly disagree. We instructed our participants to answer or provide their answers on the part 1 and to choose the scale applicable to them for part 2. As for the data collection technique, as I have mentioned, we have constructed a 2-part online survey questionnaire. We floated it online and let our respondents answer it and submitted it to us through the Google Forms platform. For the first part of the questionnaire, we required them to supply the needed data such as their gender, age, and year level. And for the second part, they rated the given statements in the questionnaire according to response codes such as strongly agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. And after we have collected the data, we tallied, cross-tabulated, analyzed, and interpret them through SPSS. And we also used tools such as t-test and Pearson's correlation. We use the t-test to test the significant difference between variables and the Pearson's correlations to test the significance level of correlations between variables.
Now let's head on to the results. We used SPSS to get all of our results. To get the mean per category, first click on the descriptive statistics, then descriptives, and input the data. Choose options and select mean and standard deviation. Then we use a statistical limit to measure the extent of OSRL to the following factors. First, computer efficacy has a mean of 2.21, which signifies that OSRL has a high extent on computer efficacy. Second is social dimension, which has a mean of 2.23, which signifies that OSRL has a high extent on social dimension. Another is metacognitive strategy, which has a mean of 1.95, which signifies that OSRL has a high extent on metacognitive strategy. Lastly is goal setting, which has a mean of 1.58, garnering the very high OSRL extent in this category.
For the second and third figure, we have used the feature in SPSS in the Analyze section called the Independent Sample T-Test. This is to test the significant difference between males and females regarding the self-regulated learning and their academic performance. To get the results we needed, we have put into the test variable section the online self-regulated learning, and to grouping variables is the gender. This is the same with the academic performance, and as a result, as you can see at the table, the p-value of both tests was more than 0.05, meaning there is no significant difference between male and female participants when it comes to online self-regulated learning and their academic performance.
Then, let us proceed to figure 4, using the Pearson-R correlation and the table for the degree of correlation from Stephanie Glenn of the Statistics How-To. The correlation of age is 0.084, year level negative 182, and gender negative 0.077 fall under low correlation with the academic performance. So, this means that it doesn't the age, year level, and gender doesn't matter, and it doesn't correlate with the academic performance of the students. We used Pearson-R correlation in SPSS. First, we click on Analyze, then Correlate, bivariate, and input the data. We also measured the data using a degree of correlation table. Let us proceed to figure 5. Using the Pearson-R correlation again and the degree of correlation table, age has a correlation of 0.076, year level has a correlation of negative 0.32, negative 0.032. Both have no correlation with OSRL. This signifies that age and year level are irrelevant when it comes to online self-regulated learning. Then let us proceed to figure 6. Using Pearson-R, computer efficacy has a correlation of 0.401 and social dimension has 0.376, which falls under moderate correlation, while metacognitive strategy has a correlation of 0.297 and goal setting has a correlation of 0.015. They fall under low correlation with academic performance. This signifies that computer efficacy and social dimension has moderate contribution to the academic performance of students, and metacognitive strategy and goal setting have little to no contribution to the academic performance of students. However, correlating these categories with OSRL is a completely different story. Computer efficacy has a correlation of 0.788, social dimension has a correlation of 0.796, metacognitive strategy has a correlation of 0.792, and goal setting has a correlation of 0.682. All show that these categories have a high correlation with OSRL. This means that these factors have a high contribution on the self-regulated learning of the students. Discussion. This research investigated the extent of online regulated learning on the academic performance of the sample students of College of Accountancy at the University of the Cordilleras. The research found out that OSRL has no direct extent on age, gender, and year level, same as though with academic performance. The study also has shown that there is no significant difference in the extent of online self-regulated learning between male and female, as well as their academic performance. The results also showed that OSRL has a great direct extent as to computer efficacy, social dimension, metacognitive strategy, and goal setting, meaning these 4 factors contribute to this online self-regulated learning of students. Academic performance has some correlation in a way in a way that students have better computer self-efficacy, will perform better academically, according to Xian of 2012. And through social dimension, students establish interactions and gain necessary information from other students that help them in learning in the online environment. In that way, students are motivated to use communication tools in the online environment. The study also revealed that students need to apply metacognitive strategies to efficiently manage their cognitive and learning processes. And it is also important that students set their goal to achieve a better academic performance in an online environment, although it doesn't really show that goal setting has a direct impact on a student's academic performance. The pandemic has a great impact on our life, and now we have to conform to the new normal. This means having an education in an online environment. But still, we should push forward and we should push ourselves to learn and to gain knowledge at this time of crisis. So that's it. Thank you for listening and don't forget to wash your hands. Thank you.